What is going on, everybody? Today I will be previewing the 2024 college football schedule for Virginia Tech. I will go through every game on their schedule and I will predict which games on the schedule I think they will win, and I will also predict which games on the schedule I think they will lose. But before we preview their schedule, let me remind you guys to like the video and also subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. And if you guys love college football, then you will love this channel because we post a ton of college football content and we basically cover everything on this channel. So definitely consider subscribing and also consider joining my Discord server down in the description below. But without further ado, let's get into the video. Last season, Virginia Tech finished the season with a 7-6 record. They started off the season 2-4 and it looked like Virginia Tech was heading towards another losing season. They definitely turned their season around as they went 5-2 in their final 7 games and they beat Tulane in their bowl game by 21 points. Virginia Tech had a solid defense and the offense continued to get better throughout the season with Kyron Jones at quarterback. And U2 under Brent Pry was definitely a step forward for this Virginia Tech team. And Virginia Tech is definitely a sleeper team heading into next season because they rank first in the country for returner production and their win total heading into next season is at 7.5. So if you trust the trend, then I would definitely bet the over for Virginia Tech because they do not have a very difficult schedule and they basically return everybody. And they have all the momentum that they need. The defense should be solid and they return standout lineman Antwan Powell-Ryland, who had 9.5 sacks last season. The offense could be electric with Kyron Jones at quarterback and the top 4 receivers for Virginia Tech will be returning. I'm excited to see what this team could do in 2024 because they have an all-around decent team. Virginia Tech had 8 consecutive double-digit win seasons from 2004 to 2011. They have not had the same amount of success since then, but they definitely have potential to win double-digit games in 2024 if they could put it all together. But anyways, let's get into predicting their schedule, and they open the season playing on the road against Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt is not going to be good. They will likely be the worst team in the SEC again. I wouldn't say that this is a lock win for Virginia Tech because Vanderbilt is a Power 5 team and they will have this game at home. But we know what to expect from this Vanderbilt team because they are always a bad team and they took a big hit with losing receivers London Humphreys and Will Sheppard, and this Vanderbilt team could honestly be worse than they were last season. I am pretty confident with saying Virginia Tech will win this game against Vanderbilt on the road, so I've definitely had Virginia Tech move it to 1-0 on the season. The next game for Virginia Tech will be at home against Marshall. Last season, Virginia Tech actually lost to Marshall on the road by 7 points. Virginia Tech should be a lot better in 2024, and they will not be the same team that lost to Marshall last season. I think Virginia Tech will win this game pretty comfortably. Marshall should be a decent group of 5 team again. Braylon Braxton could be a decent quarterback for this Marshall team, but regardless, I do think Virginia Tech is the better team. So I definitely have Virginia Tech beating Marshall at home and move it to 2-0 on the season. The next game for Virginia Tech will be on the road against Old Dominion. I do not expect Old Dominion to be that good next season, and Virginia Tech beat this team by double digits last season anyways. Old Dominion does return 85% of offensive production, which is top 6 in the country, but they lost a lot of talent on defense and they haven't made a big impact in the transfer portal. I don't really know what to expect from Old Dominion. They could be the same team from last season, but I expect Virginia Tech to beat Old Dominion, so I have Virginia Tech moving to 3-0 on the season. The next game for Virginia Tech will be at home against Rutgers. I could see this game going either way. Rutgers was a solid team last season and they returned 79% of production on defense, which is actually top 6 in the country. The defense is going to be very good again, and they actually beat Virginia Tech by double digits last season. Rutgers' passing attack wasn't great last season, but they returned a very underrated running back, and they should have a good rushing attack because they also returned 4 starting offensive linemen. I expect Rutgers to be an all-around solid team, but I think Virginia Tech will get their revenge and win this game because they will have this game at home. So I really like this Virginia Tech team to beat Rutgers this time, so I have Virginia Tech moving to 4-0 on the season. The next game for Virginia Tech will be on the road against Miami. I expect Miami to be a top contender for the ACC title in 2024. They are definitely trending up. They went 5-7 in 2022, 7-5 in 2023, and they continue to bring in more talent. They brought in Cam Ward at quarterback, and I think Cam Ward is a top 10 quarterback in the country. And if Miami continues to level up, they will probably go 9-3 or 10-2 next season, and they are definitely in the conversation to win the ACC. They have a very talented roster, and I think Miami still has more to prove. So I think Virginia Tech will drop this game on the road to Miami, and I have Virginia Tech moving to 4-1 on the season. The next game for Virginia Tech will be on the road against Stanford. Stanford went 3-9 last season, and their defense was very bad. I don't expect Stanford to be that good in 2024. They don't have a lot of positives heading forward. I know that they returned Ashton Daniels at quarterback and their number 1 receiver, but there's just not a lot of talent on this roster. It will be interesting to see Virginia Tech playing this game at Stanford Stadium in California, but I do expect Virginia Tech to win this game on the road because they have a big talent advantage in this game. So I have Virginia Tech winning this game and move it to 5-1 on the season. Following their game against Stanford, they will have a bye week, and then they play at home against Boston College. Boston College lost their head coach, and I do not know if Boston College will have another winning season in 2024. Bill O'Brien will be the new head coach, so it will be interesting to see what he can do for this team long term, but I really don't expect Boston College to be that great next season. They have a lot to clean up on defense, and they rank 86th in the country for returner production on defense. Boston College might be an okay team, maybe they compete for a bowl game, but I'm pretty high in Virginia Tech, and Virginia Tech beat this Boston College team by 20 plus points last season. I think Virginia Tech will win this game, and I have Virginia Tech moving to 6-1 on the season. The next game for Virginia Tech will be at home against Georgia Tech. This could be a very fun game, and I could actually see this game going either way. Georgia Tech and Virginia Tech will both be returning a lot of offensive talent, and this could end up being a shootout game. Haynes King is a really solid quarterback for Georgia Tech, but I think Virginia Tech will have the advantage defensively, and I like Virginia Tech to beat Georgia Tech at home, so I have Virginia Tech moving to 7-1 on the season. The next game for Virginia Tech will be on the road against Syracuse. I expect Syracuse to be a solid team, and this could definitely be a trap game for Virginia Tech. Syracuse is top 10 in the country for return and production. They have a top 5 ACC transfer portal class, and I think that Syracuse will be a pretty competitive team next season. Kyle McCord could be a good addition at quarterback, and Syracuse brought in some decent defensive transfers, so I'm interested to see the new faces on the Syracuse team. But let's not forget about returning 1,000-yard rusher LaQuint Allen at running back. This team has some decent talent, and I think that new head coach Fran Brown may be set up to have a good season in 2024. I think Virginia Tech loses a tough game on the road to Syracuse, so I have Virginia Tech moving to 7-2 on the season. The next game for Virginia Tech will be at home against Clemson, and I was so split on this game. I actually flipped a coin to decide who I would have winning this game, because I'm very 50-50 on this game. I don't think Clemson is a bad team, but I am just not very high on Dabo Swinney and the Clemson Tigers anymore, and I could see them losing 3 or 4 games next season. They refuse to use the transfer portal, and I don't know if Clemson has the talent to win the ACC in 2024. The offense does return 79% of production, but a lot of the teams in the ACC are only going to get better, and I like this Virginia Tech team heading into 2024. Clemson will definitely be a top contender for the ACC, but I think I just have too many concerns for this Clemson team, and playing on the road against Virginia Tech will be a tough test for Clemson. And like I said, I flipped a coin to decide the winner of the game, but I do have Virginia Tech pulling off the upset against Clemson, and I have Virginia Tech moving to 8-2 on the season. But again, I could see this game going either way. But following their game against Clemson, Virginia Tech will have their final bye week, and then they go on the road to play Duke. I think Duke will be a solid team, but I'm still not very high on Duke. Losing head coach Mike Elko and quarterback Riley Leonard will be a concern for Duke. I know that the defense should be solid, but Duke ranks 88th in the country for return and production, and they lose talent on both sides of the ball. If Duke wants to win games, the X factor for Duke will have to be new quarterback Malik Murphy, and if he completely overexceeds expectations, then maybe Duke is a surprise team. And I wouldn't be surprised if Duke ended up having a good season and shocked some people. But I do like this Virginia Tech team more, and Virginia Tech is definitely trending up. The bye week will be a much needed bye week for Virginia Tech, and I think they beat a tough Duke team on the road. And this could be a close game, but I do think Virginia Tech continues their momentum, and I have Virginia Tech moving to 9-2 on the season. The last game of the season for Virginia Tech will be at home against Virginia. Virginia could be a team that pulls off an upset or two. Virginia could definitely be a sleeper team. Maybe not a sleeper team to contend for the ACC, but a sleeper team to make a bowl game. Virginia showed spark last season in wins against North Carolina and Duke, and Virginia played in many one-possession losses. Virginia is top 5 in return and production in the country. And do not be surprised if Virginia challenges Virginia Tech in this game. Virginia is projected to be one of the worst teams in the ACC in 2024, so they do have a lot of concerns, but I have to go with the safe choice, and I have Virginia Tech winning their final game of the season against Virginia. So I have Virginia Tech finishing the season with a 6-2 conference record and a 10-2 overall record. I know I was very optimistic with this prediction, but I think Virginia Tech is a big sleeper team heading into 2024, and they honestly don't have a tough schedule, so I could see Virginia Tech winning 8 or 9 games, but I ended up going 10-2 for Virginia Tech because I am calling my shot, and Virginia Tech is going to have a breakout season in 2024 with all of the talent returning for this team in my opinion. I trust the trend for this Virginia Tech team, and I think they will be a top contender for the ACC in 2024. But you guys let me know how many games you think Virginia Tech will win in 2024 down in the comments below. But that is going to do it for the video. Let me remind you guys to like the video and also subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. And if you guys love college football, then you will love this channel because we upload a ton of college football content and we basically cover everything on this channel. So definitely consider subscribing. And also consider joining my Discord server down in the description below. But that is going to do it guys, and peace out.